Access Hollywood weeknights at 7:30 on WTAJ.
Here's your Weather Authority's forecast first from WTAJ.
Well, thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Joe Murgo. We still have some flurries, a couple of bands of snow showers. That's about it, other than a very cold wind. Look at this. We're going to be dropping into the single digits tonight. Tomorrow, the cold will ease a little bit. I'm going to talk about how fast this cold air moves on out coming up.
Live from WTAJ. This is WTAJ News at 4, the area's only 4 o'clock newscast.
Thanks so much for joining us on your Friday afternoon. I'm Maggie Smolka. This week marked Catholic Schools Week across the nation, and the All Saints Catholic School in Crescent ended their week with a mass, but gave thanks throughout the week to those that helped their school. Our Courtney Murphy tells us more.
A week full of appreciation and faith, Catholic Schools Week celebrates the excellence and impact of Catholic schools.
It is very important because without all of them, we couldn't exist. So we'd like to, we're not only celebrating us, we're celebrating them for supporting us and for showing our appreciation to them.
The week begins and ends with a mass. And as for days in between, the school held various activities showing appreciation for a certain group, whether it's their parents, teachers, or the community.
I learned more about our teachers because we do quizzes about them, and I also get to learn more about my faith and why I'm at a Catholic school.
We want them to realize why we are special, that not only they're getting a very good education here, that we are celebrating our faith, and that without the community support and support of our families and support everyone else, we wouldn't be able to do that. So we want to say thank you to everybody, and we want to realize what makes us special.
Some activity highlights include a teacher's lunch, an ice cream party, pastries for parents, and a talent show.
I played the piano playing shadow dance. I saw gymnastics, and people were telling jokes and playing the guitar.
I feel like it was much more special than years in the past, especially because since I'm in 8th grade, I'm more responsible and I'm looked up to, and I get to do a bunch more stuff and I have more responsibility now.
In Crescent, Courtney Murphy, WTAJ News.
The SCLO Center Region Library is announcing a new partnership with Mount Nittany Health. The organization's officially opened a nursing and lactation space for parents. The area is in a private section of the library and is available for anyone visiting downtown State College. The original idea was conceived almost 4 years ago.
One of the things that we try to do is support parents in all of the different areas that they do as the kids grow. A lot of us have found ourselves, perched in bathroom stalls in the area and that kind of thing, and that's just not comfortable and cozy, so we wanted to give people a place.
The nursing space is available to the public whenever the library is open. In Clearfield County, residents of Pike Township are stepping up with concerns and questioning their supervisors about a potential drug rehab center at the Old Marion Manor nursing home. Residents say that the new facility will bring more traffic to the area as well as create an unsafe environment for children.
Well, they were concerned about their kids being so close to the homes and everything like that. And we are too. Everybody's concerned. Everybody has family.
We did speak with residents about their concerns as well as a Pike Township supervisor. That's all coming up tonight on WTAJ News at 5:30. It may still be a bit too cold to start thinking about summer fun, but Del Grosso's Park is looking ahead to the summer season, and they say that they're going to be cashless. This means all purchases will be made with credit, debit, or gift cards, with the exception of special events and festivals. If you have cash on you, cash-to-card kiosks will be placed on both ride and slide sides of the park. The gift card that you receive, or Bunny Bucks, can be used everywhere except online and does not expire. The park says in addition to creating a more convenient experience, the change should mean faster, safer, and more secure transactions for staff and guests. And Joe, we certainly have some great memories at Del Grosso's.
Oh my goodness, we've had so much fun there. And just think about just over 3.5 months.
Sure.
The water park's open.
I can't even believe that. You know what? I'm counting down the days until the summer months. I was thinking about it the other day.
Yeah, today was a tough pill to swallow.
Oh my gosh, windy, cold, not a good day.
No, No, it wasn't. All right, we want to go ahead and let's take a look outside. It's the wind. Again, the wind is what makes it feel that much colder across central Pennsylvania as we go ahead and take a look. Some places the wind blowing over 20 miles per hour. And, you know, that is just on top of what is extremely cold air. We are a good 20, 25 degrees lower than this time yesterday. Temperature-wise, 16 in Altoona and State College, already 9 single digits at Johnstown, 12 in DuBois, and 10 in St. Mary's. Here's the view with our Elk Country Visitor Center Skynet camera. We do have some flurries still coming down. We have some flurries and a snow shower in some spots, and it's blowing around with this wind. Let's go ahead and take a look at your future track for tonight. We are going to have scattered flurries early and a snow shower in some spots. Later on tonight, we are going to be clearing on out. Temperature-wise, well down into the single digits. Some of the coldest spots could touch the 0 degree mark. But the good news is the cold, as we've been talking about, is not going to be sticking around. So weather in a word, and I've got this one, Maggie, for more than one reason. We're going to say goodbye cold. And I think that's a good word for today.
Joe, you're not allowed to start getting me emotional on your last day just yet. All right, we want to get to this. Crews from both Cambria and Somerset counties were called to a house fire in Conemaugh Township Thursday night. That fire broke out at a home on the 100 block of Cole Avenue in Jerome sometime after 7 p.m. Firefighters experienced fire hydrant problems when they first arrived, but there were no injuries in the fire. The Red Cross was called in to assist the family. Today, 7 departments responded to a fire at the Goodwill Plaza on Lincoln Highway in Bedford County. Crews arrived to find an air conditioning unit on fire. However, it was primarily contained to the roof. All employees and customers were able to evacuate the building and no one was injured. The Goodwill store did suffer minor water damage. However, they were able to return to normal operations. New cases of avian flu have been detected in Lancaster County, killing almost 40,000 birds. Active cases were reported at one commercial duck farm in Clay Township with over 32,000 birds. The other at another duck farm in East Earl Township with over 3,000 birds. Still ahead today at 4, bitter cold and dangerous weather are threatening most of the United States. We're going to show you what people are dealing with as a result after the break. We'll be right back.
You're watching WTAJ News at 4 with Maggie Smolka. Live from WTAJ with the area's only 4 o'clock newscast.
How they made the young model a new lip. Next, Inside Edition.
You're watching WTAJ News at 4, the area's only 4 o'clock newscast.
Welcome back, everyone. Bitter cold and dangerous weather is causing temperatures to plunge across much of the country. It's expected to feel like it's below 0 for more than 80 million people from Montana to New England. Lilia Luciano reports from a St. Paul, Minnesota. And obviously, we are feeling the cold and the wind here in central PA.
Yes, but here's the thing. We just are getting a glancing blow. New England's getting the full brunt of it.
Wow, and it's hard to believe because those wind gusts were strong at some point.
They were. But if you remember around Christmas Eve, it was a lot colder.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the Northeast right now. Look at that in the single digits in northern New England and farther to the south. We're in the 20s and 30s all the way down to Virginia. Look at how much colder it is than this time yesterday across upstate New York. Over 30 degrees colder. And you can see how we're just getting a glancing blow of the real cold air. Nonetheless, this is bad. I mean, temperatures are in the teens. Some of the coldest spots are already single digits. And on top of this, as Maggie mentioned, we have that cold wind. We're talking 20 to 25 degrees lower than this time yesterday in our area. And here we go. we're going up. Remember, we said the cold air was coming in and it's going to move out very quickly. We're staying very cold tonight, less wind tomorrow, still chilly, but at least we'll have some sunshine for moral support. Warm up a little bit Sunday into Monday, even more. Back into the 50s in places next week. Speaking of moral support, how about that? A little glimpse of sunshine with our Fury pre-owned vehicle Skynet camera. There's still a couple of flurries around, some clouds. There's still a couple of bands of snow showers. And even where the radar's not showing it, there's still some flurries and snow showers around. But there's one band of significance just north of DuBois, south of Brockway, extending just to around I-80 near the Clearfield exits. And as we take a look at your satellite and radar, these are streaming bands of snow that are coming in from Lake Huron. Not even Lake Erie, Lake Huron. But that will be shut off. There are a few clouds off to our west. A few clouds will mix with our sunshine for tomorrow, but nothing too bad. So our future track, we're going to have some flurries of snow shower early, then clearing. Wind will diminish later on tonight. Low temperatures, 2 in Johnstown, 1 in Somerset, 1 below in Clearfield, 0 for a low in Emporium. Tomorrow, sunshine mixing with some clouds. Now remember how cold we're starting, but it's going to get milder. Temperatures are going to get into the 20s to near that 30-degree mark. You're 4 at 4, into the 40s on Sunday, mid-40s on Monday, and maybe some showers Tuesday, and that's when we get into the 50s. I'm not going to rule out a shower Monday, but I do think for the most part, though, Sunday, I'm going to give the gold star. Very close call on Tuesday. And as we go ahead and take a look beyond that, as I promised, 6 to 10 days, 8 to 14 days, some warmth coming our way after this cold.
And Joe, this is a very difficult day. I'm trying not to get emotional just yet. I promise you I'm going to cry at some point tonight, but trying to stay strong right now. It is your last day here at WTAJ.
It is. It was a very tough decision to do, but it's a decision that I just think it's time.
Well, I appreciate everything that you've done for Central PA. I know our viewers have too, and we have a message right now for you.
Joe, you've made such an impact on this region, both informing of weather and telling us of all sorts of other great stories. You have informed us of the weather and other interesting things. You have entertained us with your Jobs for Joe and your Go with Joe. And you've also heckled us, especially those on the set when we were together, all in jest, of course. We applaud you and can't wait for what the future holds for you and your entire family. Your family has embraced this whole region. So I think it's quite appropriate that you're going to end your career atop Gobbler's Knob with Punxsutawney Phil. And we just thank you for all that you've done for our region. We can't wait to see what's next for you and your family. And please bring us spring, okay?
WTAJ News This Morning, your news leader in the morning. Give us something to smile about. Share your photos at WTAJ.com. WTAJ News wants to see what makes you happy. Make us smile. Sponsored by KNC Dentures. We'll give you something to smile about. The WTAJ News Skynet Camera Network. Available in every newscast or anytime on your favorite devices. Sponsored by Fiore Pre-Owned Vehicle Center, Shy Beaver Boat Center, and Lifespan Family Services.
You're watching WTAJ News at 4, the area's only 4 o'clock newscast.
Welcome back, everyone. The biggest names in music are gearing up for the 65th Grammy Awards. This year, artists like Beyonce could make history. Nichelle Medina has a preview of this year's awards show and talks with one of the nominees. And some of the artists taking the stage this year to perform include Bad Bunny, Mary J. Blige, Lizzo, and Sam Smith. The 65th Grammys air this Sunday on CBS and stream live on Paramount+. A new study from the Pew Research Center found 3 in 10 U.S. adults say they used a dating site or app with mixed experiences. According to researchers, recent users of the sites have seen a range of emotions from burnout to elation. She says 1 in 10 who have a partner say that they met their current significant other on a dating site or app. The number rises to 20% for those under 30. When we think of the best beaches in the country, Florida often comes to mind, but several of them are also among the most dangerous. A recent study from Travel Lens looked at the number of surf zone fatalities, shark attacks, and hurricanes since 2010. The top spot went to New Smyrna Beach, which is just south of Daytona. The travel site says that it had more shark attacks than any other, with 32. Still ahead, researchers in Egypt have uncovered some secrets on how they made mummies over 3,000 years ago. We're going to have that story for you coming up after the break.
The power of Viper weather, only from your weather authority, WTAJ. You're watching WTAJ News at 4, the area's only 4 o'clock newscast.
Welcome back, everyone. Thousands of years of ancient mysteries are buried in the sands of Egypt.
But scientists have dug up one that reveals how mummies were made nearly 3,000 years ago. CBS's Ian Lee reports from London.
It's just all so fascinating to me.
Yes, especially since they figured out all these things.
Yes.
It seems like we knew a lot, then took a step back, and then learned a whole bunch of things again.
Well,
it's just weird.
Constantly, you're learning new things day after day. So you just wonder what's going to come out in the future.
All right, something that'll change my hair back. That'll be good.
Thanks so much for watching. WTAJ News at 5 begins in a half an hour.
How they made the young model a new lip. Next, Inside Edition.
Here's your weather authority's forecast first from WTAJ.
Thanks for joining us. Our Viper radar looks clear. There are a couple of isolated flurries, some clouds still around the area. Your forecast first planner, a partly cloudy sky, very cold, still windy at 10 o'clock in the evening. The wind subsides some. Tomorrow we'll have at least some sunshine in the morning, a good deal of sunshine during the afternoon. Going to talk more about that coming up. WTAJ News at 5 starts now.
Right now at 5, a proposed drug rehab facility in Clearfield County is getting some pushback.
Yeah, everybody's concerned. Everybody has family.
What community leaders want residents to know. Plus, new controversy over the Center County Connector project. Why PennDOT says a letter recently sent to residents is misleading. The Altoona Police Department is getting 2 new additions to the force. We have the details. And a big change for the upcoming season at Del Grosso's Park. We'll tell you what you may want to leave at home if you're making a visit.
Live from your news leader, this is WTAJ News at 5.
Thanks so much for joining us on your Friday night. I'm Maggie Smolka. We do want to begin with a bit of good news for your Friday. For the first time in nearly 40 years, the Altoona Police Department is getting K-9 officers, but they might not be what you're expecting.
Police departments are so busy that they're not necessarily available for us to use at all times, and we do a lot of drug investigations here at the department, so it's something that is a necessity for us, and it's going to be a great help. It's kind of a dual purpose K-9, which is great.
Now, with a grant from this year's Operation Our Town, the department is getting 2 labs for narcotics detection and missing persons work, but they'll also be able to take them to community and school events. Sergeant Matt Plummer, who you just heard from, says that they've been borrowing K-9s from other departments when they need them, but it's great that they now have their own, and Plummer says that the dogs should be ready to go by the spring after they get new vehicles equipped to hold the K-9s, and the dogs and officers go through proper training. A Bedford County business has minimal damage after firefighters quickly worked to put out a fire this morning. Around 7 fire departments responded to the Goodwill store along Lincoln Highway to find an HVAC system fire on the roof. We're told that it was able to be contained within minutes. While the building only suffered minor damage, firefighters want to remind people about keeping an eye on heating units.
Tell everybody to make sure they have all their equipment, serviced, keep an eye on it. If you're using space heaters, we always discourage that. We know that sometimes that's your only option, but, keep an eye on that, keep things away from it.
All customers and employees evacuated the building. We're told no one was injured. PennDOT is clearing the air after multiple residents received letters from an outside law firm with information regarding the State College Area Connector project. PennDOT officials say the note let residents know the firm could represent them if needed when the time comes, but PennDOT is letting residents know that they aren't at that stage yet. In a response posted on the Harris Township website, PennDOT says that they will continue to update residents when final decisions are made for where the connector will officially go.
The final alternative could be a combination of those corridors. So like I say, we don't know where the final alternative will be, so there's no way we could set right-of-way limits. And that's what they just asked, because they said that they're getting a letter saying that that entire corridor is going to be right-of-way, and that's just not true.
PennDOT says the next step in the project is publishing the results of the study. Staying in Center County, the SCLO Center Region Library is partnering with Mount Nittany Health to create a private space for mothers to feed their children in the downtown area. Our Cade has the details.
Parents have always been welcome to feed their babies wherever they'd like in the library, but this is a nice private quiet space that families can use if they'd prefer not to do that out in the main area.
A 4-year project is finally reaching the finish line. SCLO Center Region Library is partnering with Mount Nittany Health to create a new nursing and lactation space for parents. Head of Children's Services Paula Bannon says she recognized the need in downtown State College. She first became a mother.
One of the things that we try to do is support parents in all of the different areas that they do as the kids grow.
SCLO, which is a nationally designated family place library, hopes this edition will continue to be a welcoming place for those who visit.
A lot of us have found ourselves, perched in bathroom stalls in the area and that kind of thing, and that's just not comfortable and cozy, so we wanted to give people a place.
The space is open and available to the public whenever the library is open. Reporting in State College, Cade, WTAJ News.
Joe, the weather out there, windy, cold, and not the best day to be outdoors.
No, but the good news is, as we talked about, it's going to go out.
Yes, that is always great news.
Yes, but tonight it's still in. Let's go ahead and take a look. And wow, it is colder than this time yesterday. In fact, we're talking 18 to 25 degrees lower than this time yesterday. You want to hear the good news out of all this? If you're not a cold weather lover, the good news is we're just getting a skirt of this. The real cold stuff is actually passing to our north and east. But it's the wind that's adding to it. Winds are blowing between 15, 25 miles per hour. Some gusts have been close to 40. That wind will be very noticeable early tonight, will subside later on tonight. And we're already in the single digits in Johnstown, Somerset, Emporium, low to middle teens elsewhere. Interesting views, still a flurry with our Lifespan Family Services Skynet camera. Nice little sunset overlooking the Comfort Suites. We're actually, thank you, that's who put us up for Groundhog Day. And also in the Fury pre-owned vehicle Skynet camera in Hollidaysburg, we did have a mix of clouds and sunshine, so things are breaking up. We will have some flurries of snow showering spots early. Later on tonight, it will clear out. The wind will calm down. Low temperatures for tonight are going to get down close to 0 in places. It's going to be a quiet weekend. Temperatures will rebound fast, and I'll just say next week just isn't going to feel like the same regular February 1st week. We'll talk about that later on.
All right, Joe, thank you. If you're a fan of the colder weather and looking for something to do this weekend, you are in luck. Happening tomorrow is Treasure Lake Winterfest, and all of the fun helps out a good cause. There will be a polar bear plunge at 11 o'clock in the morning, a chili cook-off at 6 p.m., and a live performance from the Aquatic Bad Guys at 8 p.m. Proceeds from this event benefits the YMCA Strong Kids campaign. Still ahead on WTAJ News, a drug treatment center is proposed in Clearfield County, but it's getting some pushback why residents and supervisors are concerned. Plus, the IRS is outlining how soon you'll be able to get your return after filing your taxes. We'll break it down for you when we come back.
The Grammys, live Sunday on WTAJ and streaming on Paramount+. Locally sponsored by Windy Hill Furniture.
Central Pennsylvania winters hit hard. You need the most advanced radar system to stay ahead of winter storms. Whether it's rain, snow, or ice, WTAJ's Viper radar brings you the fastest and most accurate radar in the region. WTAJ, your weather authority. Live from your news leader, Maggie Smolka, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Joe Murgo. WTAJ News at 5 continues.
Welcome back. President Joe Biden is taking a victory lap in Philadelphia tonight after new federal data this morning showed yet another month of strong job growth. We go now to our Washington correspondent Raquel Martin for a closer look at the numbers.
Well, that's some good news.
New data shows in January, the U.S. added more than 500,000 jobs to the economy, bringing the national unemployment rate to 3.4%.
The last time unemployment rate was that low was May of 1969.
Friday, President Joe Biden said the robust jobs report proves his economic agenda is working.
It makes crystal clear what I've always known in my gut. These critics and cynics are wrong.
According to the report, job growth was especially strong for restaurant, retail, and construction businesses. But the big question remains whether the new job gains will hurt the Federal Reserve's efforts to try and bring down inflation. Bank of America economist Ethan Harris says the January report certainly won't help.
I think it's too much of a good thing, frankly. So we really think we need to see a significant cooling down to get inflation under control.
But Daniel Zhao, an economist with Glassdoor, says the gains are still good news.
The labor market is healthy overall. It is doing its part. Now it's incumbent on inflation to come down enough while the labor market is still resilient.
Earlier this week, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said he remains optimistic about the economy.
I continue to think that there's a path to getting inflation back down to 2% without a really significant economic decline.
He says the Fed will continue to raise interest rates until that goal is met. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
Tax season is underway, so when can you expect your return to hit your bank account after you file? The IRS says that depends. As long as the return is complete and accurate, most people will see it in under 21 days if you file electronically. Paper filings, however, could take 4 or more weeks to process. The service says that you can check the status of your return by using their Where's My Refund tool, which should have the status in as little as 24 hours after an electronic file and 4 weeks for paper ones. Pennsylvania's Attorney General and the Bureau of Consumer Protection are warning you to be on the lookout for Super Bowl scams. They say to keep a close eye on the websites that you visit and to not click on banner ads or pop-ups on a legitimate website that might take you to a different website. They also say to avoid buying tickets from someone you haven't met and to meet in a safe, well-lit area. If you think you've been the victim of a Super Bowl scam, you can file a complaint with the Office of Attorney General's Bureau of Consumer Protection.
Now your Weather Authority forecast with Chief Meteorologist Joe Murgo.
I don't know if you were up early in the early morning hours, but boy, did that wind pick up middle of the night. And when you woke up this morning, that was it. temperatures really started to fall, and we've had some flurries and some snow showers. The visibility just increased again with our Thomas Automotive Skynet camera in Johnstown, but you can see how there's still a few snowflakes coming on down. Temperature 9, single digit. Not as cold as what we had in the very end of December, but this is cold. Winds out of the west-northwest at 21 miles per hour. Our Howard Hanna Bardell Realty Skynet camera, that flag sticking out. You can see there's snowflakes in the air. It's not the most comfortable evening to be outside. 14 degrees northwesterly wind at 15 miles per hour. Very dry air mass, that's why. Your hands are getting chapped, your lips are getting chapped, and yes, there's been a lot of static electricity. Good news is this pattern isn't going to last. And believe it or not, unlike in December where we got the full brunt, we're only getting a glancing blow. The real coldest air is passing us to the north and east in New England. And look at how much colder it is in upstate New York, and it's even colder north of there. And New England is going to get hit full force. And most of the nation, not bad. And that milder air will start to move back into the region. Now, compared to average tomorrow, still way below average, especially in the morning. We'll rebound on Sunday, and if you don't like cold air, this is the pattern you want to see. Temperatures way above average next week. If you like winter, my apologies. This is not going to be around for a while. Satellite and radar still show some streams of clouds, some flurries, and even a couple of bands of snow showers coming down from the Great Lakes, and that'll continue for a while this evening. That cold wind will still be around. But then later on tonight, I'm in agreement with our future track. Going to clear on out, and low temperatures are going to get down to the single digits. The wind, more fierce early on, gets better later on. High pressure to our south, you know what that means. With a fair amount of sunshine, temperatures are going to rebound a good bit tomorrow. We're starting real low, but we are going to rebound closer to that 30-degree mark. Your weather authority 7-day forecast in the upper 40s on Sunday. Weak disturbance moves through, slightly cooler on Monday, but 44 degrees is still above average for this time of the year. And into the 50s Tuesday, slight chance for a shower, better chance of a couple of showers of rain or showers Wednesday into Thursday of this week.
All right, and Joe, of course, we are wishing you well as this is your last day with everyone here at WTAJ. Yes. I'm already getting emotional. I told you I was going to cry. I'm trying to keep
still
strong
early,
here.
Maggie. It's still early.
It is still early on, but I know that you have been an incredible coworker, and I know the viewers have loved watching you for more than 2 decades.
And I love my coworkers and the viewers.
It's just amazing, you know, that you've created a relationship and a bond with everybody for 22 years.
Yes.
22 years you have been on the WTAJ airwaves, and we are lucky that you have been so dedicated to our community. You truly love Central Pennsylvania. This is your home.
And I'm staying.
You're staying, yes. So many people who you've worked with have so many memories, and we want to share a few right now.
I'm John Clay, and I just want to favorite memory with Joe Murgo. I have to say, Arts Fair, every year we'd put so much energy into covering that area, and we just loved to work together. It was such a team, an all-out effort, and Joe was always really fun to work with, and excited to be there and help deliver the weather for all these important events. So thanks so much, Joe. We'll look forward to your friendship in the years ahead.
Hey Joe, I just want to say thank you for taking a chance on me 1 year ago and bringing me into the weather team here for Central Pennsylvania. It has been just a short time for me to kind of get to know the area and learn from you over this last year, but I have learned so much. You have brought so much knowledge in just the short time that we've gotten together. We've had a lot of fun, our weather team as a whole, and I hope continue carrying this knowledge at my time here at WTAJ and throughout my career as I continue to grow as a broadcast meteorologist. I wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors, and we are going to miss you here at Channel 10.
On the next Access Hollywood, as Beyonce returns to the Grammy stage, Destiny's Child's first time on Access. Then, Ashton Kutcher's Hollywood house party blunder. Plus, get your revenge dress for less. Next Access Hollywood.
Weeknights at 7:30, only on WTAJ. Get the weather from where you live anytime with WTAJ.com's Region Casts. Click on Region Cast, then play Laurel Highlands if you live in Cambria, Somerset, or Indiana counties. Laurel Highlands Region Casts are sponsored by Penn Highlands Healthcare.
The Grammys, live Sunday, February 5th, only on WTAJ.
WTAJ News continues.
Welcome back. WTAJ is celebrating Black History Month. From struggles to triumphs, it's a time to reflect on the past and look towards the future. Our Alyssa Royster spoke with 10-year-old Victory Brinker from Latrobe and shows us how she's making her mark in history.
Hi, I'm Victory.
At first glance, Victory Brinker looks like your average 10-year-old. For example, she loves playing with her dog Gus, hanging out with her siblings.
I have 10 brothers and sisters.
And as for what she wants to be when she grows up,
a singer.
Can you sing?
Yes.
How good?
Pretty good.
Yeah, she's definitely being modest. Victory's voice has taken her all across the U.S. and even outside of it.
I've gone to Paris, gone to Milan, Italy.
Her pipes would even land her on the stage of America's Got Talent, where she'd sing in front of the one and only Simon Cowell.
Everyone says like he's tough or mean, but I like Simon.
And Simon liked Victory, so much so that not only did she get 4 yeses from the judges, but the golden buzzer.
It felt great. The confetti was really pretty, and I was like grabbing handfuls and stuffing it in Mom's purse.
Mom Christine, aka Victory's
momager,
says Victory was born with it.
She was singing little nursery rhymes at 18 months, and she was on pitch.
Morning, noon, and night, Mom says Victory can be heard singing.
Victory sometimes sings in her sleep. Yes, we try to figure out what song is she singing in there.
Her siblings agree that their sister sings.
Good.
Though when asked if it can get a little annoying.
Sometimes. She sings a lot.
But they did find a fix for it, telling Victory to sing to her stuffed animals instead.
So I did.
Making the perfect audience, her teddies could never compare to her biggest audience yet.
It was 67,000 at a Steelers game.
You'd think she'd be nervous, but instead, Victory says she felt 1, happy, and 2, freezing.
I had to wear like 4 coats, a big hat, lots of socks, and lots of pants too.
Accomplishment after accomplishment, Victory thought she had done it all. That is until
the Guinness World Records contacted us,
asking if Victory would be interested in breaking the world record for the youngest opera singer.
She sang on the show not knowing that she was going there to receive a Guinness World Record. She had no idea. We kept it as a surprise.
I feel great because I didn't really know a lot about the Guinness World Record.
And who could blame her? I mean, she did qualify at the young age of
7 years old and 314 days.
If that wasn't impressive enough, Victory can hit over 3 octaves as well as sing in 8 different languages.
English, of course, Latin, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Korean, and Ukrainian.
With the sky as her limit, Victory says at the end of the day, she has one simple goal.
I want to inspire others to follow their dreams.
Reporting for WTAJ News, I'm Alyssa Royster.
Martin Oil is a proud sponsor of weather on WTAJ.com.
For news that matters to you, download the WTAJ News app.
Harold Shepley and Associates presents Forecast First from WTAJ.
I hope you're having a good evening. A view with our Elk Country Visitor Center Skynet camera. Some light flurries coming on down into the area. Still mostly a bare ground in Benezet early February. It's just not typical. But it is going to be cold for tonight, and it's still going to be very windy early on. That wind will subside a little bit as we head into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, a cold day, but at least we'll have some sunshine.
Live from your news leader. This is WTAJ News at 5:30.
Ahead on WTAJ News at 5:30, a big change for the upcoming season at Del Grosso's Park. What you need to know. Plus, a home is a total loss after a Somerset County fire. The problem firefighters say could affect residents. And a potential drug rehab facility is causing concern for one Clearfield County community. We speak with residents and supervisors about the project. Thanks so much for joining us tonight at 5:30. I'm Maggie Smolka. We do want to begin with that story. While the proposal is still in the process of the beginning phases, it hasn't stopped dozens of Pike Township residents from speaking up about the safety for their children and the potential impacts it would have on the community. Our Tristan Klinefelter has been working to learn more about this and has the details.
Unclear and a lack of information about a potential rehab facility has residents on their heels and leaving them with an uncomfortable feeling.
Well, there's a lot of unknown with the facility. I believe that the township supervisors shared all the information that they currently have with us.
Over 30 residents attended a recent township meeting with their concerns. The facility would be at the Old Marion Manor nursing home.
Well, they were concerned about their kids being so close to the homes and everything like that. We are too. You know, everybody's concerned. Everybody has family. Big concern is traffic. The extra traffic that'll be coming up and down the roads.
According to a sheet given to residents at the meeting, the facility would hold patients for 15 to 20 days, be available to treat drug and alcohol abuse issues and mental health. The facility could also hold up to 50 people at a time.
I think the big concern is the fact that we don't know a lot about the type of care they're going to be treating, and that the clients are going to be able to leave at any time.
Possibly it's not a lockdown facility, that people would be able to come and go as they please, and that was one of our biggest concerns.
One issue is that the township doesn't have a zoning ordinance, and it can take some time to get one.
It's going to take a substantial amount of time to get it in place if we decided to ever do it, but another thing is the cost.
Residents agree that the facilities are important, but not close to their homes.
I understand that there's a need for this type of facility. I just don't know that with the information that we have and that we're comfortable with having the facility so close to our residential area.
The next township meeting is set for March 2nd at 4 p.m. In Curwensville, Tristan Klinefelter, WTAJ News.
A family is without a home in Somerset County after a fire in Conemaugh Township last night. This was the scene just before 8 p.m. as crews from 2 counties arrived to fight the blaze along the 100 block of Cole Avenue. According to the Jerome Volunteer Fire Department, a hydrant broke off the ground as they tried to hook up to it. Due to that, the town's water may be temporarily shut off for repairs. No injuries were reported, but there's no word on a cause at this time. A Bedford County man will face sentencing after being found guilty on a slew of charges stemming from the near death of his daughter in September 2020. First responders were called to Jensen Claycomb's home in Man's Choice, where they found the then 6-month-old without a pulse. The investigation revealed that was the result of Claycomb violently shaking the infant, who was able to be revived and taken to the hospital. CT scans also showed the baby was shaken multiple times before the incident. Claycomb's sentencing is set for March 24th. New legislation by a Center County representative will permit electronic monitoring for people who have protection from abuse orders filed against them. Representative Conklin says the idea for the bill comes from the murder of a family friend in 2013. He adds nearly half of the United States already permits this type of monitoring in cases of domestic violence. Representative Jim Rigby is inviting residents of the 71st Legislative District to visit his new office on Monday. You can see the address right here on your screen. The office will be open 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on weekdays. Rigby says the new location was necessary due to the realignment of the district. All Saints Catholic School in Crescent celebrates Catholic Schools Week, giving thanks to all who support their school and faith. All week, they dedicated a day to showing appreciation to a certain group through various activities, including parents, teachers, their community, and first responders. The goal is for students to learn more about the great education that they have and the support that they receive.
We want them to realize why we are special, that not only they're getting a very good education here, that we are celebrating our faith, and that without the community support and support of our families and support everyone else, we wouldn't be able to do that. So we want to say thank you to everybody, and we want to realize what makes us special.
Students began their week with a mass and ended with a mass and an ice cream party. In now our chief meteorologist, Joe Murgo. And Joe, it may be a good night to stay in because it's very windy and cold out there.
Yeah, I'd call it a window day, but we did have a fair amount of flurries. It wasn't that bluebird kind of window day. I do think we'll have that for tomorrow. Right now, there are breaks in the clouds with our Shy Beaver Boat Center Skynet camera over Raystown Lake, and in Bellefonte, our Center Care Skynet camera clouds breaking in some places. But if you notice a little raggedness there, that's some flurries that are coming on down with that cold wind. We're in the single digits in Windber, Evansburg, Myersdale, Seven Springs. They're cranking the snow out to make up for lost time. And even east of the ridges, we're in the teens, and off to the north and west in the lower teens. We still have some scattered flurries and snow showers, a lot colder than this time yesterday. Our future track does show some clouds, a flurry, snow shower in some places early tonight. Later on tonight, we're going to be dropping well down into the single digits. Good news is windy early tonight. Less wind. I'm not saying zero wind, but less wind as we head into later on tonight. Your 4-day forecast dropping off to near 20 for a low Saturday night. A mix of sun and clouds on Sunday. How about this for a turnaround? Single digits, lower single digits for tonight, near 50 by Sunday. That's a turnaround weekend. A little setback on Monday and into the lower 50s on Tuesday. There can be some showers by the afternoon. I'm going to talk more about that and talk about how this mild air is returning for a while coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Joe. Thank you. It may still be a bit too cold to start thinking about summer fun, but Del Grosso's Park is looking ahead to the summer season, and they say that they're going to be cashless. This means all purchases will be made with credit, debit, or gift cards, with the exception of special events and festivals. If you have cash on you, cash-to-card kiosks will be placed on both ride and slide sides of the park. The gift card that you receive, or Buddy Bucks, can be used everywhere except online and does not expire. The is that the addition to creating a more convenient experience, it should also change and mean faster, safer, and more secure transactions for staff and guests as well. If you play the lottery, you have a chance to become a multi-millionaire this weekend. The Powerball jackpot has grown to $700 million, with the cash value at about $375 million. No one matched all 6 numbers since November. This jackpot ranks as the 6th largest Powerball jackpot and in the top 10 in the U.S. lottery. The next drawing is going to be tomorrow night right here on WTAJ. Also happening tomorrow is a sweet event to get you in the mood for Valentine's Day. Just Jack's Pet Market in Altoona is hosting a Valentine's Day photos event from 10 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. We're told that dogs, cats, rabbits, goats, and guinea pigs are just some of the pets that you can bring in to get a portrait. It's $5 for a 5x7 and $10 for an 8x10. Lots of fun. Still to come on WTAJ News at 5:30, a warning for farmers after a large avian flu outbreak. We're going to tell you where. Plus, a Chinese spy balloon flying over the U.S. is creating diplomatic tension. What officials from both countries are claiming when we come back.
The power of Viper weather. Only from your weather authority, WTAJ.
They say dogs are man's best friend. What this police officer risked to rescue his best bud Saturday at 7:30.
Where good news meets good morning. WTAJ News Saturday morning, Saturdays at 7:30. Live from your news leader, Maggie Smolka, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Joe Murgo. WTAJ News at 5:30 continues.
Welcome back. A heads up for farmers. New cases of avian flu have been detected in Lancaster County, killing almost 40,000 birds. Active cases were reported at one commercial duck farm in Cade Township with over 32,000 birds. The other at another duck farm in East Earl Township with over 3,000 birds. 2,300 state employees are headed back to the office after working remote since the pandemic. A spokesman for Governor Josh Shapiro tells us that the workers are needed back in the office at least 3 days a week. This applies mostly to senior managers who work under the governor's jurisdiction and the governor's office staff. The spokesman says the administration recognizes there are benefits to remote work, but there are also benefits to working in the office. Another lawmaker in Pennsylvania is proposing raising the minimum wage. Representative Gironi Green is recommending raising the minimum wage to $18 an hour. She says that the bill would increase the hourly minimum wage in increments by July 1st, 2024. It would also increase the minimum wage for tipped employees to $8 an hour and make sure that tipped employees get the full amount of a tip. Democrats are renewing their efforts to protect patients who want to travel out of state for abortions. Members of the pro-choice caucus reintroduced a bill yesterday to push back on punishments that anti-abortion states are considering. Lawmakers say patients face enough hurdles when traveling to access care.
They might lose their jobs. They have to pay for transportation. They have to pay for lodging.
Anti-abortion groups are working with Republicans to ban abortion nationwide. The White House says threats like these highlight the need for broader federal protections for pregnant and postpartum workers, particularly minorities. A Chinese spy balloon flying over the U.S. is creating diplomatic tension. American defense officials say that it's being used for illegal surveillance. WTAJ's Hannah Brandt is in Washington to explain how they're responding to the threat.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken postponed a planned trip to China after this balloon was discovered. And the Defense Department is certainly closely monitoring this balloon as they figure out what to do about it. It may not look like much, but this white disc is believed to be a Chinese spy balloon.
The balloon has violated U.S. airspace and international law, which is unacceptable.
China's foreign ministry claims the balloon is actually a weather research airship that accidentally blew off course. But U.S. intelligence officials say they're confident it's being used for surveillance.
We did a very close assessment.
It was spotted about 60,000 feet over Montana, above the location of one of the U.S.'s nuclear missile silo fields. Something former State Department official Dave Rank says is puzzling.
It just doesn't make much sense as an act of intelligence gathering to float a balloon over when you've got us covered with satellites already.
Some Republicans are calling for the military to shoot down the balloon. But the Pentagon says for now, they've ruled that option out.
Any potential debris field would be significant and potentially cause civilian injuries or deaths or significant property damage.
Instead, they say they're just planning to keep an eye on it.
The North American Aerospace Defense Command continues to monitor it closely.
The Pentagon does say right now military commanders don't believe this balloon poses a threat to people on the ground. In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
And we are going to warm up and warm up fast. Your forecast is next.
Hey, Joe, I can't believe this is goodbye. I appreciate everything that you've done for me over the past 8 years that I've worked here at WTAJ. But as you know, it started even earlier, and I want to say a big thank you while I was still in college for looking at my stuff and encouraging me to continue and to be a TV meteorologist. I'm so grateful for the time that we've had together and all the knowledge that you've allowed and given to us over these years. It really means a lot to me, and truly you're one of the best forecasters that I've ever met event, especially for Central Pennsylvania. You're a big loss. We're going to miss you. But congratulations and good luck on your new endeavors, and enjoy that time that you're going to spend with your family.
Now your Weather Authority forecast with Chief Meteorologist Joe Murgo.
You know, in all my years at WTAJ, I always say terms that sometimes you didn't hear before. And one of the days, I mentioned a window day earlier, and also a lot of times I talk about upside down days. And today, that was the case. High temperatures early this morning were in the 30s. Some places upper 20s, and I know you're sitting there going, it was not that warm today. Yeah, that was before a lot of you woke up. And then temperatures dropped, and our low temperatures are in a lot of places our current temperatures, and we've already dropped into the single digits in some places in the far northern part of our viewing area and also across the Laurel Highlands. Our almanac for today in the record books, the high temperature wasn't that far from average. A high of 32 is 4 degrees below the average high temperature. So far, the low 14. No, we're not going to get to the record level, but it is going to be a good bit below average by the time we get to midnight for tonight. The high temperature tomorrow, below average. We're going to rebound, and then we're going to drop less over the next several days, and we're going to get into a milder weather pattern. How long will it last? For a while. In fact, our 6 to 10 day outlook shows warmth in the eastern United States. Let's add a couple of more days, shift it to 8 to 14 days. Still a lot of warmth for the eastern United States. So what we're going through is a pattern similar to, but not as cold as Christmas Eve. That little time period there. And then we're going to rebound again as we head just like we did during the month of January. Here is the view with our Lifespan Family Services Skynet camera. Decent sunset. We do have some breaks in the clouds. There have been some flurries, still a little skiff of snow in places. Be careful. That snow is still blowing around. You could have a snow-covered road in some places. Weather watchers are reporting temperatures already single digits to the teens. Elsewhere, single digits to the teens, and the wind makes it feel colder than that. Our future track for tonight shows there still will be a flurry or snow shower in some spots early. I do agree with some clearing later on tonight. Low temperatures in the single digits, some places right near that 0 degree mark. Tomorrow, good deal of sunshine. Yes, for a while, a few clouds could mix on in. That sunshine's going to help out. Still close to that moral support thing with high temperatures only in the 20s to near the 30 degree mark. Your Weather Authority 7-day forecast. How about this rebound? Upper 40s on Sunday, and then a weak disturbance moves through. Slight chance for a shower later Sunday, and then Monday clouds and sunshine, and then we're going to have high temperatures in the low 50s on Tuesday and Wednesday, and close to that Thursday and Friday of next week. So we'll be back right after this.
Central Pennsylvania winters hit hard. You need the most advanced radar system to stay ahead of winter storms. Count on your Weather Authority, powered by Viper Radar. Whether it's rain, snow, or ice, Viper brings you the fastest and most accurate radar in the region, offering more warning time for you and your family. WTAJ, your Weather Authority. WTAJ News continues.
Welcome back. Every Friday, we like to take a look back on all of the good stories and good people making a difference in our local communities. Here's a look at this week's Friday Flashback.
Just anything that we can add to the pantry to just further help our community.
What really keeps us coming back is honestly just the athletes. I mean, they're the best people you will ever meet in your life. They have the best attitudes, and if everyone had the same attitude as some of these athletes, this world would be a better place. So that's what brings us back. We put a smile on their face, but honestly, they put an even bigger smile on our face.
It's a huge honor. I join a list of ladies that I truly admire and respect.
The community around the Humane Society is unbelievable. They support us in so many different ways, not just this, but I mean, it's just, this community just pours out for the animals.
To have deliveries done when you are doing your job, that's just so unprofessional. Oh, sorry, 1 second. I said no mustard.
I'm tickled. I feel blessed, very blessed to be a part of it, be a part of Punxsutawney, because it's a good town.
I see that everyone knows their part, and I am merely the sage. But above all else, I see a shadow on my stage. And so, no matter how you measure, it's 6 more weeks of winter weather.
Live from your news leader, this is WTAJ News at 6.
Good evening and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Maggie Smolka. Residents whose homes may be affected by the State College Area Connector project are voicing concerns after many received a letter from an outside source containing information that PennDOT claims to be, quote, intentionally misleading, end quote. Marie Cade has more.
I got a lot of calls from people that got a letter and said, hey, what's going on?
After multiple residents received letters from an outside law firm with information regarding the State College Area Connector project, PennDOT is clearing the air.
The letter was sent out, from a law firm. It just, looking to represent them when the time comes, and we want to let them know we're not there yet.
PennDOT officials released a letter in response to around 150 Harris Township residents who currently reside in the areas that are being considered for the connector and may have received a letter from the law firm.
And the letter just stated that, they were potential, this is potentially the right of way that could be taken from your property.
PennDOT's response, posted on the Harris Township website, says in part, quote, we believe the information is intentionally misleading and misrepresents information regarding the alternatives being considered for the project, end quote.
The final alternative could be a combination of those corridors. So they say we don't know where the final alternative will be, so there's no way we could set right-of-way limits, and that's what they just asked, because they said that they're getting a letter saying that that entire corridor is going to be right-of-way, and that's just not true.
The law firm could not be immediately reached for comment. The next step is publishing the final planning and environmental linkages study document on the PennDOT website. Reporting in State College, Maria Cade for WTAJ News.
3 men are facing charges after an assault in State College back in November. Valentino Scarpone, Keith Ominous, and Joseph Kiefer allegedly attacked a man after an argument over a baseball game. Scarpone and Ominous are facing felony aggravated assault charges and misdemeanor charges, and Kiefer is charged with misdemeanor simple assault. Pike Township residents are stepping up with concerns and questioning their supervisors about a potential drug rehab center at the Old Marion Manor Nursing Home. Residents say that the new facility will bring more traffic to the area and create an unsafe environment for children.
Well, they were concerned about their kids being so close to the homes and everything like that. And we are too. Everybody's concerned. Everybody has family.
The next township meeting will be on March 2nd at 4 p.m. For the first time in nearly 40 years, the Altoona Police Department is getting canine officers. With a grant from this year's Operation Our-Town, the department is getting 2 labs for narcotics detection and missing persons work. But they'll also be able to take them to community and school events. Sergeant Matt Plummer says that they've been borrowing canines from other departments when they need them, but it's time they got their own.
Police departments are so busy that they're not necessarily available for us to use at all times, and we do a lot of drug investigations here at the department, so it's something that is a necessity for us, and it's going to be a great help. It's kind of a dual purpose canine, which is great.
Plummer says the dogs should be ready to go by the spring after they get new vehicles equipped to hold canines and the dogs and officers go through proper training. All right, it is time now for a check at tonight's forecast. We want to bring in our chief meteorologist, Joe Murgo, for a final weather now.
Oh.
Hey, Joe.
Hi there, Maggie. I thought you weren't going to make me feel bad.
Well, you know what? I'm already feeling teary-eyed through all of these reads, so it's only going to get worse as the night goes on.
Yeah. Well, at least I have good news for a lot of folks. Not for tonight, but if you don't like cold weather, a rebound is coming our way. Temperatures, well, we are good 20, 25 degrees lower than this time yesterday, and we're already in the single digits. We're down to 8 in Johnstown, also in the single digits now in Clearfield, DuBois, St. Mary's, and Emporium, low teens farther to the east. And how about now during the 6 o'clock news, a sign the seasons are changing. I always talk about Groundhog Day is an important date because day length really increases after that. And we have twilight at 6 o'clock with our Thomas Automotive Skynet camera. And there are some clouds, there's still some flurries. I agree with our future track. Later on tonight, these are going to be breaking up. It is going to be a colder night for tonight. Low temperatures are going to be in the single digits. At least the wind will calm down later on tonight. What to expect, a quiet weekend, a big rebound in temperatures, and next week, just not going to feel like the same week of February. I'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, Joe, thank you. And if you're a fan of the colder weather and looking for something to do this weekend, you are in luck. Happening tomorrow is Treasure Lake Winterfest, and all of the fun helps out a good cause. There's going to be a polar bear plunge at 11 in the morning, a chili cook-off at 6 p.m., and a live performance from the Aquatic Bad Guys at 8 p.m. Proceeds from each event benefits the YMCA Strong Kids campaign. The SCLO Center Region Library is announcing a new partnership with Mount Nittany Health. The organization's officially opened a nursing and lactation space for parents. The area is in a private sector of the library and is available for anyone visiting downtown State College. The original idea was conceived almost 4 years ago, and after years of planning and discussions, the space had a grand opening in January.
One of the things that we try to do is support parents in all of the different areas that they do as the kids grow. A lot of us have found ourselves, perched in bathroom stalls in the area and that kind of thing, and that's just not comfortable and cozy, so we wanted to give people a place.
The nursing space is available to the public whenever the library is open. All Saints Catholic School in Crescent is celebrating Catholic Schools Week, giving thanks to all who support their school and faith. All week, they dedicated a day to showing appreciation to a certain group through various activities, including parents, teachers, their community, and first responders. The goal is for students to learn more about the great education they have and the support that they receive. Students began their week with Mass and ended with a Mass and an ice cream party as well.
Park Home is a proud sponsor of WTAJ News. Now your Weather Authority forecast with Chief Meteorologist Joe Murgo.
Well, today is my last day on WTAJ, but I did do one last Ask Joe on the road, and I promised I would say hi. I have visited them a few times, and thank you so much for the invite. I visited Skills of Altoona, and some of the people there are just absolutely great. They love the weather. Thank you for inviting me, and it was on my last day here on the station. Appreciate it. High temperatures today, 20s to the 30s. Wait, when did that happen? Oh, that happened first thing in the morning. And this is a view with our Howard Hanna Bardell Realty Skynet camera, a gusty wind. This wind is kind of a tough pill to swallow when it's in the teens and single digits. We're in the single digits. My weather watcher, Mina in Snowshoe, 16 degrees for Glen and Vira. Chad Everett, 15 degrees, 12 degrees with a cold wind for Geo in Phillipsburg. And thank you so much. I have developed a bond with all of these weather watchers, and they report in, and they're like family to me. All right, temperature-wise, we're in the single digits to the teens. And there's still some chilly air moving in. There's still a strong cold air mass. But the worst of the cold, I mean, look at that. 13 below in Burlington, 14 below in Bangor, Maine. And yes, that's where the coldest of the air is going. Now, tonight, we will have a flurry, some snow showers around early. Later on tonight, low temperatures in the single digits. The wind is going to be quite strong early, and then it will subside later on tonight. Now, high pressure to our south. We are going to have sunshine tomorrow. Yes, it'll mix with a few clouds, but when the H is to the south, I always sit there and say, we're going to rebound, and temperatures rebound a good bit in the 20s to near the 30-degree mark. Yes, that's still a good bit below average, but that's still not bad for this time of the year. Future track for tomorrow night, a mostly clear sky, winds out of the south. Sunday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Slightest chance for a sprinkle with this. That would be about it. A weak disturbance moves through. Ahead of it, we're going to get close to 50 on Sunday, a little setback on Monday, and then maybe an afternoon shower on Tuesday. Better chance of some showers or a period of rain on Wednesday. And then as we head on into Thursday and Friday, we'll have a better chance of some periods of rain or some showers. Actually, on Friday, it may start to clear out during the afternoon hour, so that is good news.
All right, Joe, you said my final forecast.
Yeah.
It got me. I just want to say thank you for being an incredible coworker. And I know that a lot of people feel the same way. You have been such an asset to WTAJ, and I'm so incredibly lucky to be part of this journey with you for a couple of years, and I know that the viewers are very lucky to have been able to welcome you into their living rooms each and every night for 2 decades, and you've been giving trusted, dedicated forecasts, and you love it. You can see your passion, you can see your love for your work, and that shows through every single day. And it's been so great being a coworker, but also a friend of yours. Yeah. And I know so many people have messages to share, so we're going to go to another one right now.
Hey, Joe, I just want to say thank you so much for teaching me pretty much everything that you know. You made me a way better meteorologist the 3 years I was in Altoona. I just want to say thank you and best of luck in your next adventure.
Our Destiny's Child flashback next, Access Hollywood.
Only on WTAJ.
I just want to thank Central Pennsylvania. You guys welcomed me so much. I feel so close to the community. I love our outdoors. I'm still going to be involved with the community, so I'm happy that I call this place home.
WTAJ News Sunday morning, where good news meets good morning.
WTAJ Sports with Andrew Clay.
Well, Penn State wrestling now 11-0 on the season. All right, Ohio State tonight before going to Indiana on Sunday. Buckeyes 11-1. Features a lineup full of top 25 grapplers, including Ethan Smith, the Latrobe native, who's ranked 7th in the nation at 174. He's tentatively scheduled to compete against Carter Starachi. That duel begins tonight at 7 o'clock. On the hardwood, Penn State men's was in action on Sunday as the Nittany Lions head to Nebraska. Penn State just 1-5 on the road in Big Ten play and comes off its second straight 20-point road loss this week at Purdue. Penn State, however, beat Nebraska earlier this season at home by 11. Back here in Happy Valley, Lady Lions carry a little momentum into Sunday's game against Iowa. The Lady Lions topped Northwestern by 10 last night. Just the second win in 7 games. Sunday's matchup is at noon and is the team's 17th annual Pink Zone game. The matchup benefits the K-Yao Cancer Fund.
Something bigger than us. We play for our university and we play for something bigger than that. It's really special to get to step out there and put that jersey on to represent a lot of other women, especially who fight for something and battle through something like that. So it's really special to us to represent that.
In our quick hits, Kyrie Irving has demanded a trade from the Brooklyn Nets, telling the organization he will not be re-signing with the team in the offseason. Menacing charges against Bengals running back Joe Mixon were dropped this morning. The county prosecutor saying investigation is needed first. And Duke women's basketball coach Carolyn Lawson says a men's ball was mistakenly used for one half in the team's loss at Florida State over the weekend. That's Look at Sports. We'll be right back.
Tonight on WTAJ, the action begins with new episodes of SWAT and Fire Country, followed by an all-new Blue Bloods. Then it's WTAJ News at 11. Tonight's lineup is brought to you by Parcom.
Honoring Black history, sharing our stories. Acclaimed director Spike Lee was born Sheldon Jackson Lee in Atlanta. His mom nicknamed him Spike. At the age, he was fascinated with African-American art and literature. Spike grew up in Brooklyn, New York, where his neighborhood would become one of his greatest inspirations.
Honoring Black History is brought to you by WTAJ and Levin Furniture.
5-Star Mitsubishi is a proud sponsor of weather on WTAJ.com.
WTAJ News continues.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, Joe, I'm going to let you take it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and just jump to the 10-day.
All right.
And she has a box of Kleenex.
I have a box of tissues ready to go.
There we go. And it's not, well, you know what? This is for the cold. That's for the cold weather lovers. Because
I love this final future track.
This is a lot of red.
This is quite
on
a gift.
the 10-day future track where temperatures are below average for tomorrow and then a stretch of warmer weather to come our way.
You couldn't have given us better news on your last day.
Even the red forecast on the red, because Joe knows how much I like the warm weather. That got me emotional.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it was just for you. I had to do a lot of manipulating to make the weather like that for the...
Well, you know what, Joe? I appreciate that. And obviously, I know it goes without saying, but it has been an absolute privilege to work with you, to call you a friend. All of our crazy live shots.
Yes.
You know, what were we thinking on some of them?
Yes, especially when I was lying on a bed of nails.
That was happening,
having you stand on me.
Yeah, we did a lot of crazy things. I think one of my favorite ones was when we did the polka dancing, and then, of course, when we got you on that ride. And you don't like heights very much.
No, I hate heights.
But you've made so many memories here at WTAJ, and, of course, we want to share all of them with you guys.
Thank you for all that you've done for our region. We can't wait to see what's next for you and your family.
And also want to wish you luck on your new endeavor. I'm sure you will do a fantastic job.
We're going to miss getting the weather from you on TV, but congratulations on your next big adventure.
All the best on your next new endeavor.
On behalf of Punxsutawney, the Groundhog Club, and Punxsutawney Phil.
You really feel like things are changing.
You've been a great ambassador, and we sure appreciate it. So take care in all your new endeavors. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you and best of luck in your next adventure.
It was just such a pleasure to work with you and get to know your family over the years. And I'm glad to know that we'll continue to be friends and neighbors here in the years ahead. See you, Joe.
So I know you're going to be staying in the area, so keep those invites coming. But in the meantime, I just want to wish you the best.
Joe Murgo, Groundhog Day is synonymous, and it will always be Joe. With Groundhog Day, doing the news together sometimes, Studio 814.
Weatherman.
It felt like we had a lot of fun, but also could potentially get in trouble. So thank you for the fun times. I wish you the best.
I hope that you can just float on to the next endeavor. And from me,
a little bottle of the simple life.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Because now you can enjoy the 4th of July without that weather stress.
You know, you're part of our family, and we are going to miss you, and I can't wait to see some of the amazing things that you continue to do throughout your career. It's been a blessing to work with you.
I wish you all the best, and as you know, we'll be seeing each other many times over the years going forward, and I know that you'll still do well for this community, and I wish you the best.
You've always been such a great friend, and I love you, and I'll tell you what, WTAJ will not be the same without you.
And it's very easy.
Love how much you love being out in the community, so I'm looking forward to seeing you here in the 814. So this is just a farewell, not a goodbye.
I'm so grateful for the time that we've had together and all the knowledge that you've allowed and given to us over these years. It really means a lot to me, and truly you're one of the best forecasters that I've ever met, especially for Central Pennsylvania. You're a big loss. We're gonna miss you. But congratulations and good luck on your new endeavors, and enjoy that time that you're gonna spend with your family.
I wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors, and we are going to miss you here at Channel 10.
As you enter your new adventure, be well, be happy, and stay in touch.
From Gobbler's Knob, I'm meteorologist Joe Murgo.
Wow, guys, you're making it hard. Welcome back, guys.
It's family.
And Jordan Tracy's off on the side. Thank you, Jordan. And Jennifer Goodwin, who was an anchor when I started here way back when. She's here with her family, too. So there's a lot of people. When I first came here in 2001 from Washington, D.C., I already had a different job offer in Norfolk, Virginia. But I took a stab and said, you know, I liked Central Pennsylvania because I was working at AccuWeather before I got into television. And I met with the news director because there was an opening, Jim Frank. And I remember our GM at that time, Marty, was upset because Jim Frank and I just sat at Don Poplo's and we just talked philosophy. And I told him I was looking for a place to come to raise a family.
Oh, boy.
And I was not going to be a short timer. And my family's behind me now.
Yay.
So these are the people who gave up my evenings, my weekends. So then I decided it was time that I would try a normal life. Well, I got my first job at AccuWeather when I was 19 years old. Yes, even then I was a freshman in college, and I have been working odd hours since. And I love analyzing, I love solving problems, and I love communication. And my new job, it's a company called Resilience. I am going to be working with a lot of major companies, and we're dealing with weather risk management, climate management. And the best thing is I get to stay in the place I love. And Maggie, I wanted to go out by your side. You're a friend, and that you two came back too.
We love you.
We love you, Joe.
And we all love you. Your
Thank
family.
you for everything you've done.
I am so proud of everything you've done. And